Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob's Rig. Real quick, if you haven't before, smash that subscribe button. So the big question, the question that keeps coming up, I get messages about this, I see comments and things about this, is the Jeep still garbage, basically? I mean, that's the gist of what a lot of the talking heads out there report, right? And of course, detractors that you see on the web talking about experiences that they've had with Jeeps. So I thought I'd do a little bit of research. I thought I would ask the web, is the Jeep still garbage? Let's go ahead and see what it has to say. Right off the bat, it says yes. Wow. Yes, statistically speaking, Jeep consistently ranks near the bottom of automotive reliability and quality studies. And you can search this stuff yourself, right? Everybody always ranks the Jeep very, very low. And the argument before has been, well, a lot of these companies are bought and sold. It's because of the competition paying some of these reviewers and sites. By the way, nobody's paying me to say this. To say that Jeep is bad, it's no good, and you should buy their product. But after a while, when you see so many different reports of things like this, you start to wonder, right? Data from major consumer tracking firms like Consumer Reports and RepairPal frequently place the brand lowest for long-term durability due to widespread electrical, transmission, and build quality issues across the lineup. However, the reality of owning a Jeep varies widely depending on the specific model, engine, and what you expect from the vehicle. And I would argue also what you do with the vehicle. I mean, Jeep is known for its off-road prowess, right? So if you take it out off-roading and you beat the hell out of it, slamming over bumps and things, going down deep divots, busting it up basically, obviously it's going to have problems. It's a machine. Things are going to break if you use it to its max, right? It says here the brand essentially splits into two completely different categories. The true Jeeps, Wranglers, and Gladiators. These are body-on-frame, purpose-built off-road machines. Again, built for off-road abuse, but they are going to have wear, right? Things are going to break. It says, the good. Models equipped with the naturally aspirated 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 engine, like what we have, are mechanically robust if properly maintained. Their resale value remains incredibly high because enthusiast demand never fades. And that's the one thing that's always very interesting about Jeeps for me. I've traded enough of them, I've had enough of them. They do hold their value really well. And you would think if they were garbage, they wouldn't do that. People would quit buying them, but they don't. The bad. They drive like farm equipment on the highway. You will experience a stiff ride, excessive wind noise, loose steering, and poor fuel economy. Some of that's true, some of that's not. Again, it depends on what you do with it. If you lift it and you put big old giant wheels and tires on it, you're going to have a rougher ride, right? It's not going to be very good on the freeways. And it's interesting to me that since only about 6% of 4x4 owners actually ever go into four-wheel drive, people still go ahead and mod them out, but don't use them for what they're intended or what they, I guess, made them to be or modded them to be, and then complain about how they ride on the freeway and about their fuel economy, right? The ugly. I like this. The Clint Eastwood spaghetti western references. You know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. First-year redesigns like the 2018 Wrangler JL launch and complex hybrid variants like the 4xe plug-in hybrid have been plagued by severe electrical gremlins, battery drain issues, and constant safety recalls. Again, depending on how you use it, I mean, basically, if you go with the 4xe version, you've kind of got, and we really have this across all vehicles these days, but you've kind of got a computer on wheels, right? All those little soldered connections, all those little thin wires and things. and then you take it out on the trails, you beat it to death, all that jarring around and bouncing and everything else, and then wonder why connections break, you have electrical gremlins, electrical problems. It's no wonder, right? The rebadged commuter fleet, Compass, Renegade, and Cherokee. This is kind of a little sidebar, I guess. These vehicles are largely built on shared parent company Stellantis, formerly Fiat Chrysler, platforms. The reality: automotive mechanics enthusiasts generally consider these models to be the lowest quality options in the compact SUV market. Stay away from them, I guess, unless you have to buy them. Common issues: they are notorious for underpowered engines that scream at high RPMs, glitchy Uconnect infotainment software, cheap interior plastics, and rapidly depreciating resale values. So your best bet, I guess, is to stick with a Wrangler or a Gladiator if you're going to jump into the Jeep brand family. Stay away from these lower end models, and all they really do is pull down the average, I guess, of Jeep as a brand as a whole. And maybe that's why it seems, according to what I've found, that Jeeps are still considered to be garbage. It's because some of these other brands, or not brands, but models of lesser quality and reliability actually pull down the reputation of the Jeep Wranglers and Gladiators themselves. I wonder what the numbers would be, and maybe I'll have to look into this someday, but I wonder what the numbers would be if you looked exclusively at Wranglers and Gladiators, getting rid of these low-hanging fruits that don't do the brand any good. It goes on to say, if you are buying a Wrangler specifically to take the doors off and hit the trails, you will likely love it despite its mechanical quirks. If you are looking for a reliable, comfortable daily commuter SUV, you will find much better quality and longevity from competitors like Toyota, Honda, and Mazda. That's some pretty stiff competition. I mean, Toyota specifically, and I can speak to Toyota because, of course, I have one and I've had several in the form of the Tacoma, I guess. But they're very, very good, right? So when you throw the Jeep into that category and try to compare it to what arguably, I guess, or maybe not even arguably, are the best reputation for quality and reliability vehicles out there, Jeep is probably going to have a problem. And I do think maybe it's kind of a compliment to Jeep that you have to go so high in the pecking order of vehicles out there as to compare it to the top tier. Not to say that that somehow legitimizes Jeeps having issues. They shouldn't. And you would think by now, as long as Jeep has been out with the Wranglers and the Gladiators, as I guess what apparently is regarded as the better models in the fleet, they would have it down. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know if you agree. I do not. I do not think Jeeps are garbage. I keep buying Jeeps. This is like my, I don't know, umpteenth Jeep that I've owned. So either I have a mental problem and I won't acknowledge these problems, or I really don't believe that Jeeps are garbage myself. What do you think? Are they? I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.